Coming up on News Desk, 2 people collapsed in Wa West after the president's Mmdce nominee was totally rejected by assembly members.
Close relatives who were unhappy about the rejection of the nominee collapsed and were rushed to the Wa West District Hospital.
We have details also. Bono East Region Minister calls chiefs and opinion leaders to persuade assembly members of Nkranza South and Pro East to reconsider the DC nominees for these areas after the 2 were rejected by the assemblies. We have all that coming up on News Desk. Do stay tuned. I'm Ezra Lai. We're returning to our earlier story, and Rafiq Salam has joined us with the very latest on that. So Rafiq, President Akufo-Addo has renominated the former MC for Cape Coast, Ernest Ahin. Mr. Arthur has for the second time failed to secure 2/3 of the vote of the Assembly to earn a confirmation. Not even the regional minister, Justina Asan, kneeling down to beg the Assembly members to vote for the nominee, who changed the minds of the Assembly members. Richard Kojonyako reports, as of midnight, consultations to enable a second voting was being done. He has more in the following report.
Central Regional Minister Justina Asan kneeling down to beg the Assembly members to confirm the President nominee, Ernest Arthur. The former MC, about a week ago, failed to secure the needed 2/3 majority needed to secure his confirmation. Having failed the 2/3 test about a week ago, the expectation was that this time he was going to secure 44 votes to make him sail through, but that was never to happen. He was 4 votes shy this time round. 40 votes out of 65 was all he could garner. The regional minister had knelt down and begged in vain. Tensions began to rise and finger-pointing became the order of the day.
For the sake of the development we are all looking for, please, let's do this for ourselves.
It's nearly 1 a.m. and we are still here following the process. Inside the Assembly's conference room and outside are over 200 weary pair of eyes struggling to follow the process. After Mr. Arthur's second failure, it was announced that the President had renominated him. Consultations began to enable them vote for the second time same day, but that did not materialize as the process had to be adjourned to an appropriate period where another confirmation battle would begin. Residents who could not blink an eye but follow the process as well expressed their disappointment.
Assemblyman Senator, $100 no one.
What I want to tell the Assembly members is that they shouldn't allow the 100 Ghana cedis losing bonus paid to them to make them continue to reject Ernest Arthur. If they fail 100 times to confirm him, the President would renominate him 100 times. If Akufo-Addo does not choose him as the MCE, we shall not vote. For Joy News, Richard Kojonyako, Cape Coast.
Right, and Richard Kojonyako has joined us with the very latest on this. So Richard, when we spoke earlier in the morning, you gave us an update that thing is the MC is being renominated or has been nominated again. What's the very latest on that?
Also, he's been renominated by the President. It was read by the presiding member for the Cape Coast Metropolitan Assembly last night. And so the announcement came after the second voting was done. And so they are looking forward to Monday, where they will reconvene to cast another ballot to show whether he would garner the 44 votes he needs. That will represent 2/3 of the total valid votes that will be cast. And so that was what happened. But aside that, there are so many reasons that have been ascribed for his continuous rejection, or the reason why he is not securing the needed votes to confirm him as the MC. One, they say that when he was MC for Cape Coast, 2 constituencies under the Cape Coast metropolis, the Cape Coast South and the Cape Coast North. One allegation they have leveled is that he concentrated only on the Cape Coast South, neglecting the Cape Coast North, because he was going to contest the Cape Coast South seat. And so it's one of the allegations. 2, they say that he is not respectful. He takes decisions that would only satisfy him and would not consult them. And then 3, because other people do not want him to become the MCE again because they see him as a threat. And actually, we are also being told that the MP for Cape Coast South, Kweku Richard Hagan, was there, and proud to this contest. He actually assembled the NDC assembly members. These are unwritten ones, but they know that the NDC assembly members in the Cape Coast metropolis, they outnumber the MPP people. But prior also even to that, there were government appointees that were also even disappointed on that day because they felt strongly that some of them voted against the MCE for in this particular contest. And so all of these things come together, and that is why Mr. Ernest Arthur has not secured the needed vote to qualify him to become the member of the MCE for Cape.
Assembly members to vote for or approve the MCE. What is the minister going to do differently?
Well, so Israel, the minister has done all she could. She was there not alone. She came with the transport minister, Stephen Asamoah. They were all there in the wee hours of the night. We all left the venue at the same time, 1 a.m. They held separate meetings with the people, the stakeholders, the various movers and shakers in this particular elections to contest to confirm the MCE. They did a lot of pep talks, but it looks as if that things were not changing, situations were not changing, and so they are going home to do their homework. Maybe the 4 additional votes that the man needs, by the time they return on Monday, things would have been okay.
All right, thank you very much, Rachel Konyonyako, with that update. There were 2 close relations of the President's District Chief Executive nominee for Wa West collapsed. Ali Bukari collapsed after he was totally rejected by the 41-member assembly. The 2 were quickly rushed to the Wa West District Hospital for treatment. The President's nominee, who doubles as the Upper West Regional Communication Director of the MPP, polled 15 yes votes and 26 no votes. This leaves the nominee another round of confirmation within 10 days. Joint News' Upper West correspondent Rafiq Salam reports that supporters of the nominee attempted to attack the outgoing DC, Edward Labiri Sobo, who is accused of being behind the rejection and has to be whisked away by the police to safety.
Following the refusal of Laura and Juba municipalities to confirm the president nominees to their assemblies, Upper West Regional Minister Dr. Hafiz bin Sali and his team had wished Wichau, capital of the West District, should not be another Waterloo for them. This he pleaded with the 41 assembly members to do well by voting to give an overwhelming endorsement to the confirmation, and Upper West Regional Communications Director of the MPP, Ali Bukari.
He is not a stranger that the government is trying to impose on the people of Wa West. He hails from this area and he's one of you. And I believe strongly that because of that, you're going to give in an overwhelming endorsement.
The end result was, however, an overwhelming rejection of the further of 4 by the Assembly.
In all, we have 41 honorable members present and voting. So the yes was 15, representing 36.58%. And then the no vote was 26, representing 63.41%.
Upper West Regional Minister Dr. Hafiz bin Sali was disappointed about the results and has these few words for the Assembly. We would have said that we will return here within 10 days, but that is not the case. This is a total rejection of the nominee. I will have to inform the president for the next line of action. Supporters of the nominee were not only shocked about the results, but angered. As a result of that, they vent their anger on the outgoing DCE, Edward Labido Sobo, who they accused of being the mastermind of the total rejection of the nominee. He was nearly attacked, but for the presence of the police, who whisked him away to safety. Edward Labido Sobo has, however, strenuously denied those allegations leveled against him. Two female close relatives who were unhappy about the rejection of the nominee collapsed and were rushed to the Warwick District Hospital. Reporting for J News, Rafik Salam. Watch out.
I was asking, what is the fate of the two people who we know collapsed at the approval of the MC?
One thing that I can tell you, okay, what actually happened yesterday really shocked many at the Warwick District Capital. The latest information we have is that one of the two women who collapsed during the process, one of them has been pronounced dead at the moment. So that's the latest information now.
You said dead?
Dead.
Okay, so is this death, at what point was this person declared dead at the hospital? And who's that person?
What actually transpired at the assembly that it was really shocking for many observers. But some people, they attributed the blame to the president's nominee himself, because they think that he didn't do a lot of hard work. He didn't beat some of the assembly members. And so accusing fingers have been pointed to he himself. So what?
All right, we seem to be having some challenges with Rafik's connection there, but what we're learning is that one of the two people who collapsed at the approval of that MCE has passed on. We'll get you details. We want to know more about this person who we're learning has collapsed. But also in another region, the Bono East regional ministers appealing to chiefs and opinion leaders to persuade assembly members of Nkranza South and Pru East to re-accept or reconsider the DC nominees for these two areas after the two were rejected by the assemblies. The Bono East Regional Minister Kwesi Edujang has begun a series of engagements with assembly members of Nkranza South and Pru East to accept the DC nominees for these areas after voting against the confirmation of the two. The two nominees, Dinah Atta Kisiwa of Nkranza South, polled 20 out of 42 votes, representing 47.6% of the total valid votes, while Joshua Buakra of Pru East District obtained 10 votes of the 23 votes, representing 43.5% of the total votes cast. We'll come back to the story, but Rafik has joined this time on phone. Rafik, so you were telling us a bit more about this one person who died after collapsing after approval of the MCE. What more do we know about this person?
These two persons, I can tell you that are close relatives of the president who happens to be the Upper West Regional Communications Director of the MPP. Is the president of Ali Bukhari, who is the father of four. And so shortly after the Warwick EC officer announced the results, so these two personalities were outside the hall. And so immediately upon hearing our results, so they collapsed in separate incidents. And so they were quickly taken to the hospital at Wochao. And so the information that we are getting this morning from that community now is that one of the females who collapsed is alleged, one of the females is pronounced dead in that particular community. They are close relatives of the president's nominee.
Right, so when next are we expecting the approval vote to be held again?
According to the Upper West Regional Minister, the results that was announced by the EC, talking about 15 no, 26 yes, 15 of the votes said yes, 26 of them said no, means that it's a total rejection. And so clearly means that for him to come back to the assembly, he needs to be re-nominated by the president. for him to come back to assembly. But for now, it's total rejection, and they don't need to give him another chance to come back. But the information that we are gleaning on is that, after the incident, the outgoing district chief executive, Edwin Library Sabo, was nearly lynched by supporters of the nominee because he was accused of being the mastermind of the rejection yesterday. And so because of that, supporters of the nominee pounced on him, and then the police were the ones that they saved him if that he would have been lynched. And that was what happened at the West capital at Wuchao.
Have we had any reaction from the nominee who was rejected?
For now, we haven't gotten any reaction from the nominee. As I told you that some members of the NPP are blaming him. They are pointing to himself as being the one who caused for his defeat. The information that we are gleaning on is that since his nomination, he has not gone to any of the assemblymen. He has not campaigned. He has not spoken to some key members of the party who think that are against him. And so because of that, the people rejected him. And so the blame for now is laid squarely on him.
All right, thank you very much, Rafiq Salam, for that update. And moving on to another region, the Bono East region, where the minister is appealing to chiefs and opinion leaders to persuade assembly members of Nkranza South and Pru East to accept the DC nominees for these two areas after they were rejected by the assemblies. The Bono East Regional Minister, Kwesi Edujang, has begun a series of engagements with assembly members of the Nkranza South and Pru East for this purpose because they voted against the confirmation of the two nominees. Diana Atta Kisua of Nkranza South polled 20 out of 42 votes, representing 47.6% of the total valid votes, while Joshua Abuakra of the Pru East District obtained 10 votes of the 23 votes, representing 43.5% of the total votes cast. The minister tells Joy News names of the two rejected candidates will be submitted to the president for renomination.
Yeah, it is very disappointing and doesn't look good for us for the assembly to reject two of the nominees. However, that is what they have said. In Latin, we have what we call vox populi, vox deus. The voice of the people is the voice of God. We thought and we expected that they would do the needful by confirming all of the president's nominees. But unfortunately, we had two of them, that of Nkranza South, Honorable Atta Kisua, and that of Pru East, Honorable Joshua Abuakra. They were outrightly rejected, and I think we're still in discussion to see what best we can do so that this issue can be resolved once and for all.
Do I get a sense that you're engaging the assembly members again and for the two nominees to go for re-election so that they can be confirmed? Is that understandable?
Yes, I am seriously engaging the opinion leaders, the assembly members, the government appointees of the two assemblies that are involved. And I hope we'll be able to raise some level of agreement, of acceptability. So when that happens, I will relate that to His Excellency the President for renomination. We're doing a lot of analysis, and we hope we'll be able to give the right advice to His Excellency the President in respect to either their renomination or otherwise.
Yeah, that's why I come to court. Those who have said that, listen, these are individuals who have been kicked out. So it will be prudent for the president to renominate other candidates for them to be confirmed by the assembly.
No, at times it depends. If you look at most of our elections, especially in Ghana, there are many times that we gloss over competency, we gloss over hard working, we gloss over dedication and commitment of individuals. It's only after the first round, when people sit down to assess the situation, that they can probably make intelligent decisions as to what really took place. Okay, so we believe that after a critical analysis, you know, as we are talking to them, if they realize that probably a mistake here or there has been committed, a blunder left or right has been committed, and there is a need for us, you know, to reconsider, why not?
Officials of the AMA Wednesday stormed Agbogloshi Market in Accra. The unsanitary conditions there was their focus, but the team uncovered a raft of illegalities being perpetrated by some traders and other workers within the enclave. For instance, a welder who was found to be operating in a filthy environment was also found to be operating without a work permit. Others were also found to have connected illegally to electricity. They were all served notices and are expected to appear in court Thursday. Michael Papaniashale was with the Clean Ghana team, and his report is read to you.
The Accra Metropolitan Assembly moved to clamp down on companies flouting environmental and health safety protocols within the Agbogloshi industrial area. Richard Sagbaji, who is a welder there, had a lot of questions to answer.
The head of our presence here, so unceremoniously, nobody is around.
Yes.
Where's your urinal? Huh? Where's your urinal for your clients? Let's go. I'll come here. We'll take him through all that. Let's go and let me show you something here. Come, let's visit this place. This your urinal?
Yes.
So, my brother, come and stand here. You, I need you. Be with me here, because it's for you.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So, this is your urinal here. Yeah. This is how it is. Because you are lucky you have air drain here, so you urinate here. What form of disinfection do you apply here, or cleaning the place?
We used to clean it.
But we haven't cleaned it.
We clean it all the time.
All the time.
Even yesterday we clean it. But the dust is coming from down here, not my place. It's coming from the filling station down here. The people who came to the filling station to urinate, they dump the dust inside the hose there, and the other dust from the gutter drain to this place.
The plastics or dust?
I'm talking about the plastic rubbers and those rubbish.
So after now, this place, you have been able to cement here, and look at the stench that is coming out. You telling me that you have been able, you scrub here, you wash here?
Please, I'm not the only one person or only the shop people urinate here. The whole area here or they urinate here.
Who put up the structure?
I put it.
So if you
at first they used to urinate all these places, so but for me just to help the public, that is why I did this thing here. Yes.
So all that you have to do now is you have to take it as a responsibility. Any Muslim brother or sister who's coming to attend the urinal, okay, you let the person know that this is a bin. Where's your bin? If you finish whatever plastic that you are holding there, put it into the bin. At the end of the day, you will dispose the bin off and bend whatever plastic that you are generating. All this plastic find its way into the drain. You paid your business operating permit. The business operating permit is the license, the tax that you pay to the assembly.
That's what I'm saying that you should.
So you need to let your boss, that thing you have to paste it here.
My boss was the one who paying that money.
Director, you have to put, when you pay, make photocopy and have it. As at now, we can assume that you haven't paid.
What I'm saying is that it's my
no,
boss.
But I'm saying that by our law, we assume that you haven't paid.
You just told us that you have acquired that permit in 2004. Yeah. Is that so?
That is the AMA permit.
Yeah. 2004.
Yes.
So you are telling us now that since 2004 you have not in any way acquired any new permit. Is that so?
Yes.
That's so. Yes. Simply means that since 2004 you have not paid, but business operating permit is subject to renewal every year.
Right now you come here, I don't know anything about all these things, and then you people say that you are giving me this thing and all that. No, I don't think.
He was served notice for first the insanitary state of the makeshift washroom, and then for working without an operating permit.
Listen, get it clear. Get it clear. Yeah. We are not fining you. We don't have the power to fine you instantly. We are sending you to court. So your charges are: 1, you are operating a welding shop without fire extinguisher. Okay. 2, insanitary urinal facility. You don't clean it. 3, poor. Listen. Let me finish and you come. 3, poor wiring system. All the wires are exposed, which you are supposed to insulate them. You have to insulate them to prevent negative power, negative and positive coming together to create fire. That is what you need to do. You yourself, you know that all the wires you are supposed to insulate them. Is it not true? Is it not true? Are you not supposed to insulate them? Okay. And then 4, your absence of AMA business operating permit. Your license for 2019, 2020, 2021, you don't have it. So we are going to prosecute you for all these charges.
The offender, Richard Segbaji, later pleaded with Assembly to take steps to educate the public on its rules.
If they know that we should do the right thing, they should come on air and then tell us that, oh, let us do this and this and this. And when we refuse to do that, they can take us to court. But if we as ignorant, we don't know anything about this, and then they came and said they are sending us to court, what are we going to say in court?
Another person who is the fuel pump manager at the Bubbleship Total Oil was also charged.
Okay, so we came here to do that inspection, and the manager here is seeking clearance at the head office, and they are giving us problems not to carry out these inspections. So we are serving them a letter of obstruction. They are obstructing Accra Metropolitan Assembly from carrying out our needful duty within their working premises, which is contrary to AMA bylaws, Cap 36.
At the Dormont Steel Company, the team was unable to access the site.
So we needed management clearance. So when we got here, we met the safety manager, who we took him to meeting to give us clearance for the exercise to be carried out. And per the reasons that he has given us, at least as a human institution, everybody has his limitation. It's not within his remit to give us the entry permit for us to carry out the inspection without his due approvals from management. So he requested that if we can honorably guarantee him today, so that he will do adequate arrangement by management and get approvals for us to come and ascertain what is going in within the factory premises here.
At the main market, the team discovered that many vendors were selling their goods on choked drains. The officials confiscated the goods on display.
Under the tip of the drain. Look at them. Look at what is happening. And ignorantly we come to buy. Okay? This water is where they display this yam for sale. Then ignorantly we come to buy. Every time we've consistently asked them to stop selling here. And the moment we leave, they come back. So I think that all the time we will regularly come and make sure we confiscate the yam consistently until they stop. That's what we have to do to serve as a deterrent to them to stop.
To solve the issue, Joseph Asitanga hinted of plans to commence a new project, Operation Clean Your Own Drain, come next week.
From now, next week going, we are coming out with a program to ensure that all the public drain here within the Agoglosi market here, we're going to ensure that when we get here, all the people selling in front of the drain, we are going to get equipment ready, shovels and pickers ready in our car, and put them to job to desilt and clean the drain. And we're going to start at far from the beginning of the drain and continue until we finish desilting this drain. And we'll continue that exercise until they themselves take it upon themselves as a mandatory exercise to regularly desil the drain. Apart from that, all the time when we come and they are selling, we will stop them and put them inside the drain to clean. And that will be taking effect from next week.
So if you come here and somebody resists, what are you going to do to them?
We are not going to come here on our own alone. We will be coming with security. We did it before. It was successful. The national cleanup that we were doing, the military was part of us, the police were part of us. And we are going to formally write to the military and the police to get support of the security. So when we get here, we shouldn't wait for it to become a national issue before the military or the police come and do the work for us. So we will make sure we write a letter, get a good standing security that will back us upon the cleaning. When we come and put them there, the security will be here to ensure that everybody is involved in the drain cleaning. Because we cannot wait for here that it should be there and become a national issue, the government or the president should call a national cleanup for them to come and desil the drain when they are the same people who are causing the nuisance. So it's a program that is coming from next week going, so they should get ready for it.
Great. Thank you. So,
Other news, managers of the Jamasi Health Center in the Ashanti region say quality healthcare delivery is adversely impacted by issues of insecurity. District Health Officer Adam Natongma says the absence of a fence wall is facilitating the invasion of the facility. The most recent threat came from a mentally unstable man who attacked the hospital's ward in an attempt to disrupt the service. Nana Aljuma has more in the following report.
The various blocks of the health center are scattered across acres of land. Managing entry to the facility is difficult because there is no fencing. This heightens security concerns in managing the facility. District Public Health Officer Adam Natongma explains the impact on service delivery.
If residents within the catchment area realize that at every point of the day, especially at night, when somebody falls sick, already the person is already in a very serious agony, where the person wants to have access to the facility and the person has in their mind that no, this is not the appropriate time for me to step out or even get closer to the premises of the facility, because we have witnessed previous theft. When people want to have access to any of the health facility, they will restrain themselves and wait for every daybreak. And if they do things like that, could bring some kind of preventable deaths within the societies.
Some efforts have been made to improve security in the hospital. Key among them is construction of a fence wall to deal with unauthorized entry. But the project has stalled due to lack of financing. Mr. Natoma explains a dip in internally generated funds is the reason.
Nowadays, 90 to 95% of people who come for health delivery, they all have health insurance. And then the reimbursement of the health insurance from the service providers is not frequently forthcoming. Sometimes 3 months and about 6-9 months will be handled. So the IGF, the little ones who come with cash and carry are not just many. And for that matter, we are hard up with financial issues within the facility. So if corporate bodies like us come to our aid, it is very, very good.
Meanwhile, the Secherural Bank has constructed a security post to enhance service provided by security personnel. This was a request from the health center to the bank. Dr. Francis Dente is board chair.
So we looked at the community. We thought there's a health center, which is contributing a lot to the health care of the community. So we decided that being such a great program that is being handled by the center, we felt there was the need to come and support them. And so when they came to us to ask for the support, we also immediately decided to support it. So we built this to help them protect their environment.
For Joy News, Nana Aljuma, Kumasi.
One of the problems with domestic electric pressing irons is that they can cause fires if they are left plugged in and unattended. During this period, the iron is still consuming power. Now, to check this energy waste, 2 students from the Department of Physics at the KNUST have designed a low-cost socket adapter which has the ability to turn off the pressing iron after a predetermined time. On Tech Thursday, Love FM's Kwesi Deborah speaks with the students.
According to a 2016 report in the journal Health and Safety at Work, domestic fires account for 41% of all fire incidents in Ghana. The iron. The pressing iron is one of the most predominantly used domestic appliances. Unfortunately, is a major cause of contact burns in children, accounting for 74% of the cases. The students, Peter Azure and Kenneth Akambodipo, tell their motivation behind the innovation.
There is always the tendency that after ironing you forgot to turn the iron off. And by the time you come back from where you went, the iron has pulled all the credits on your prepaid. That's if you are lucky. But if you are not lucky, it might even tip over and cause fire outbreak.
The design uses a microcontroller, an AC to DC converter, and a dial that allows a user to set the desired ironing duration. The adapter is programmed from 5 minutes to 1 hour. The socket adapter provides power to the electric iron connected to it according to the selected duration.
Okay, this is how this device works. When you look at the front view, we have 2 LEDs here. This LED is red, and then this LED is green. Now, beneath the LEDs, we have the potentiometer. The potentiometer is what you use to regulate the time. So, for instance, if a user wants to iron, first of all, the minimum time you can use is 5 minutes, and then the maximum time is an hour. So, if the user twin it, say you want to iron for 10 minutes, and you twin the potentiometer to 10 minutes. Now, this 10 minutes here, when you tune the potentiometer to 10 minutes, doesn't necessarily mean that the device will start working unless you trigger this push button. So when I plug it to the wall, the red LED will show, indicating that there is power from the means, that is the power supply, to the adapter socket. Now, when I trigger the push button, ready to use, that is after setting the time, then this green LED will come, which will also indicate that there is power from your socket to the iron. And in the situation whereby you want to iron for like 10 minutes and you've set it to like 15 minutes. So when you finish ironing within the 10 minutes and the device is still working, the user has the ability also to trigger the push button. When you trigger the push button, it will terminate the time that is set. And a situation whereby lights went out, if lights goes out and the lights come again, this device will not work until you trigger the push button. So a user can also decide not that, oh, this is good for the iron. So he can purchase one for an iron and one also for a heater. So in the case whereby someone is using the iron and he wants to heat water, he can simply use it. You can simply use it to heat your water.
Reporting for Joy News, Kwesi Debra.
And that report was put together by Kwesi Debra, who is one of 4 journalists from the multimedia group who have been nominated for the 2021 West Africa Media Excellence Award. The others are Seth Kwame Boateng, Araba Kumsing, and Kwete Nate. Let's take you live now to the AMA Assembly Hall, where the process for the confirmation of the President's MC nominee for the Metropolis, Elizabeth Saki, is currently underway.
Thank you very much, Honorable Assembly members of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. Just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, is the President's nominee for the mayor of the city.
Israel, if you can hear me, well, this is just the beginning of the confirmation process for Madame Elizabeth Saki. Well, she is the President's nominee for the position of Metropolitan Chief Executive for the Accra
nominee for the position of Metropolitan Chief Executive for the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. Indeed, she is looking to secure all 30 votes of the Assembly members here. And we'll just try and get you some quick reactions as we get here. Well, of course, the Honourable Alfred Okuvanapoe is a member of Parliament for Ablikuma South and also a former mayor. Well, he's on the NDC side, and you know, indeed, with the sort of reaction that greeted her nomination, you'll wonder what the Honourable Alfred Okuvanapoe will be doing here. Honourable, grateful that you could speak to us here on Joy News. Briefly, people wondered really the sort of reaction that greeted her nomination there might have been indications of some cracks within the rank and file. But you are here indicatively to support. Why is that, sir?
Yes, I'm here to support the nomination and also to ensure that we get her confirmed. Accra needs our chief executive, and the choice for today we are all supporting. We are all supporting because we know that the nominee has been an assembly member before. She has been a member of parliament. She has been a deputy regional minister, and we think that she is ready to take on the seat as the chief executive of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. And I think that she will be a team player. She would be one that will be a stakeholder, will work with the stakeholders, and I think that she'll be ready to face the challenges of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly.
The event's about to start. Just briefly, what you're saying is you have a lot of confidence in there. Is that an indication that indeed the nomination to replace Mohamed Nyajesoa was indeed justified, so that maybe he was not doing something right?
Well, you know, I think it is neither here or there. I think the president, in his own wisdom, has decided to bring us a new chief executive, and so I think we have to accept it and move forward. It is neither here or there about that.
Your constituency falls within the AMA. Were you satisfied with his performance?
Well, my brother, I'm saying that it's a new day. We have a new chief executive. We need to confirm her, and then we'll let her get to work. Yes.
And so that's the Honorable Alfred Okovanapa MP for Ablekuma South, and of course himself a former mayor. And as you're hearing in the background, the confirmation process is just about to start. Just to run you through, some former mayors have been here. I've seen the immediate past mayor, Mohamed Nyajesoa, himself clad in a white apparel. His demeanor is quite, solemn and calm. It does not give any indication of any rank or anything in the semblance of same. And so we're here, we'll be monitoring and we'll bringing you updates as we move right about now. The event is starting. So if you can hear me in the studio, Israel, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Emmanuel Kranting, and we'll be following the proceedings and we'll bring you updates as and when. Right now, though, we're taking a break to bring you business news. Stay tuned in.
Hello, welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. CD notes in the 1 and 2 denominations will soon be phased out of the Ghanaian economy. The decision by the Bank of Ghana has received mixed public reaction. Anita Sewa-Juga interacts with traders and some players in the informal sector in Kumasi on the impact on their businesses. Here's her report.
Bank of Ghana has decided to phase out the 1 cedi and 2 cedi notes due to poor handling. The 2 denominations will be replaced by their coin equivalent respectively. But how is this going to affect day-to-day transactions?
25-year-old Kwame Ansa, a trotro mate at Tech Junction, laments the coins will be too heavy and bulky to carry along. He fears the elimination of the 1 and 2 cedi notes is going to make his work stressful.
Due to the heaviness of the coin, he will become sluggish when working.
Unlike other trotro mates, Ansa has a specific way of folding his money. He carefully counts the money, folds it horizontally into 2, and puts it in his pocket to avoid mishandling the note.
To prevent mishandling of notes, I always fold it horizontally.
Some drivers at Tech Junction are, however, pleased with the Bank of Ghana's decision to phase out the cedi note.
The 5 cedi note should also be phased out. We are happy with the Bank of Ghana's decision.
They believe introducing rubber-like money is the best way to curb mishandling of currency notes.
The traders should be blamed for mishandling the cedi notes.
Switching from the 1 and 2 cedis paper notes for some Christians may affect their attendance to church. They hope the bank will refrain from the decision.
A lot of people will stop going to church. I prefer the note because the coin makes noise when dropped in the offering bowl.
Anita Sewa Ajoga's report read to you.
Right, so it's time for sports now. You know, it's all about the Black Stars. They have an upcoming World Cup qualifier this weekend, and Mubarak has joined me in the studio with all the juicy details from camp, as well as their friendly. I would want to believe that the friendly has given Milo an opportunity to look at the team and decide who's going to be featured.
Exactly, and of course, the friendly, he came out with a win. The Black Stars won by 8-0 against Soccer Intellectuals. And when you look at the selection, it was a 4-3-3 formation. The captain, Andre Ayew, was not involved. His brother, Jordan, who has been under massive pressure to score goals for the Black Stars, was not played in his favorite position as a centre forward. He was played on the right wing, and he delivered 2 assists yesterday. Now, talking about other players who also impressed were the goalkeeper, Jojo Wellacott.
Okay.
This is his debut call-up, so we thought he would be gradually integrated into the squad. But he started yesterday, so probably on Saturday against Zimbabwe, he might start as well. Now, on the right-hand side, the right-back position, Philemon Bafo, he has been called a number of times into the Black Stars team, but he has not featured. This is his first time playing for the Black Stars in the absence of Andy Yardon, who picked up a knock. So basically, this was what transpired yesterday at the Cape Coast Stadium.
Right, but we must also say that the team, the side that they played is, again, well, you can't compare them to...
Exactly, it's a lower tier team, yes.
A lower tier team, you can't compare them to the Zimbabwe that they're facing on the weekend. But you're saying generally, they put up a good performance.
Yes, yes, scoring 8. Even if you are playing against a weaker team, you should show that indeed you have the quality. So scoring 8, I think, is a big statement, even though it's against a lower tier team, but it's going to give the players some confidence. And when you look at the lineup and the way they exhibited the tactics of Milovan Rajevac, I feel on Saturday, Ghanaians, we should be expecting something big.
Okay, and I'm sure it's also indicative that they're probably quite happy with their coach.
Yes. To be honest, when you watch the videos on the website of the Ghana Football Association, the players are really having fun. The training regime, you could sense some happiness, some optimism, some positivity within the squad. They can't tell, we can't tell the difference between the way they felt under CK Akona and then under Milovan, but clearly they are really happy with the coach.
All right, thank you very much, Mubarak, for the update in sports. And that'll be it for News Desk. My name is Israelai. We have News Today coming up at 12 midday. Do stay tuned in to the rest of our programs. Have a good day.